Hello everybody, how are you today? How you are doing well? Welcome to our English lesson. Here the topic is reading strategies, belong to week number 3, and here we have a subtitle that is how we read. In this subtitle here you have to read the information right here from letter A to letter G, and here you are going to see some advices, okay, for reading strategies. And here it's like some experiences. So you leave this experience, so here you will see the name of that reading technique. Okay, this exercise is just for you to know how much you know about these reading strategies, and sometimes you apply these reading strategies but you didn't know the name of this. Okay, that is the idea about it. You read and read. Now, for example, the strategy of predicting using your general knowledge and experience of the words help you to understand the reader more easily. That is true. That is the idea about it. So here you have an exercise that says write 3 things you already know about how we read. Maybe you previously knew about scanning and skimming. You can write about it. You got previous knowledge about it. Here it says 3 things you have about how we read. So the skills. Okay, maybe you know about predicting and you're applying predicting in your reading exercises in Spanish or English, doesn't matter, and you can write. Because most of the time we apply reading techniques, but the problem is that we don't know the name of this specific reading strategy. So in this class we are going to reinforce that. Okay, let's start. 6 strategies that help to develop reading skills: skimming, scanning, reading intensively, reading extensively, predicting, looking for cohesive devices, and guessing the meaning of vocabulary from contents. And let's start with the first one. Okay, but before this, I hope you understand this activity is just previous knowledge about reading strategies. Sometimes how you can apply these strategies in your daily life or daily reading activities that you face every time in Spanish or English. Okay, so let's start. Skimming. You can read, of course, but the main idea here is this. Main ideas. This is about skimming. It refers to the process of reading only main ideas, no more. And how to skim? Here you can see. Read the title, read the introduction of the first paragraph, read the sentences of every other paragraph, read any heading and subheading, notice any picture, charts and graphs, and more. And maybe the last one says read the summary and the last paragraph. Yes, of course. The idea here is just what you see one word, maybe the title or subtitle, and you can get a previous idea about the general topic of this. Gamification. Gamification, it's about the use of technology resources for our learning process. Okay, I got a previous idea about it. Maybe you're reading a test and it's a huge test, but you see a picture about teeth, okay, some tools for it, and you see, okay, this is dentistry. This is about dentistry. So you have a previous idea about it. So it will help you to get previous knowledge about this text if you have experience in this case. If not, oh well, you have to read. The second one here is scanning. It's a reading technique to be used when you want to find a specific information quickly. In scanning, you have a question in your mind and you read a passage only to find the answer, ignoring unrelated information. Yes, many times we did it. I'm very sure about it. You, for example, when you are developing some reading exercises and you have a question, for example, when was David born? And you look for the test and you don't read all the text. Just find Oh, 1994. Okay, that is the age. So you got it. This is about scanning, no? When you want to find the specific information quickly. Here says how to scan. State the specific information you're looking for. Try to anticipate how the answer will appear and what clues you might use to help you locate the answer. For example, if you're looking for a certain date, you would quickly read the paragraph looking only for numbers. That is true. That is what I told you. It's about, for example, when was he born? So you find a specific number, no? Or use headings on any other aids that help you to identify which sections might contain the information you're looking for. That is true. That is true. But in this case about scanning, the most important idea is finding specific information. So most of the time when we are reading, it's very important to take notes, but underline some important information that you consider in the test, because that important information that you consider in the test maybe will be the answers of some questions later in the test. Try to think like the author, or try to think like the teacher. Okay, because most of the time the teacher prepares some questions that it's about get some important information, get information about the test, but just at least a few questions about personal opinions. So don't worry about it. Okay, how you understand this? Intensive reading. Let's understand this pretty fast because of course you read this previously and you got some ideas about it. But the most important idea here about intensive reading is this. The goal of absorbing as much meaning from it as possible. That is the main idea. As you see, get the meaning as possible, much meaning here. This is the most important. If we read this, here says specifically, if you wish to read a test intensively, you must take care to read tests that are interesting and short, to read only at brief periods of time, and to do so when you have the most mental energy. That is true. That is true. That's why I told you many times, it's important to read a lot just because we want to do it, not because it's an evaluation. Okay, it could be part of the class that some topics are really interested to know or to do it. But most of the time when it's about classes, those questions are not really necessarily important to know. But well, it's another topic here. Do not forget, the idea is to get much meaning as possible from the test. Okay, most of the time recommend us that this test can be or should be interesting and short, and you have to do it in a brief period of time. And something else, yes, you have to be ready for this. I mean, you need enough energy to continue, mental energy. Okay. Yeah. As I told you once again, tests for intensive reading must be interesting. Because you have to enjoy it a lot, and of course it has to be short. Okay, that is the idea. And here it says ideal learning materials for intensive reading include news articles. That is true. Wikipedia articles. That's okay. Short stories, blog posts, and you must intensively read for brief periods of time, specifically to avoid the mental excitation. Yes. I mean, it's very clear. 3 words for what's this? For intensive reading. Topics should be interesting, really interesting. It should be short, and you need enough energy to be ready. especially mental energy. And most of the time the idea is to get much meaning from the text. Okay, here says sessions of 35 minutes. I mean, intensive reading is very nice for people that don't like reading a lot. So I can practice my intensive reading a lot, but this reading must be short, interesting, and I have to be good. I mean, I have to be ready for this. So I can start reading, for example, comics, because I like it a lot. So it's a good way to start with reading. But we apply most of the time intensive reading with this kind of information, no? We read a lot because it's not too long. It's just 5 or 2 or 4 pages. And we read again just to get one more time previous knowledge about this topic, because some information here is of course relevant and important. And we apply also scanning now to find specific information. And of course sometimes we apply skimming just to find the main idea about each reading technique. Oh, we are applying everything. Here, extensive reading. Here says to read extensively is to simply read as much as possible. That's it. You see the difference between intensive and extensive. Intensive is the most important, is to get much meaning, all right, meaning from the ideas, to get a message, to understand. An extensive reading is just read as much as possible. Read and read and read. It doesn't matter if you understand or you get an idea about it. Just read and read and read and read and read. Okay? Specifically, if you wish to read a text extensively, you must read texts that are interesting, level appropriate, and moderate length. And to read when you can dedicate longer blocks of time. To do so, you must be relaxed, of course. Okay. So here we have, it must be, let's apply skimming here. Skimming, interesting, level appropriate, and moderate. And now let's apply scanning. Here, interesting. Since extensive reading is done for longer periods of time, you must take care of select tests that hold your attention and keep you coming back for more. Okay, level appropriate. Since the goal is to absorb and know words through contents. Moderate length. Specifically, tests should be no overall at least 15 and 30 pages. Wow. You see the difference, right? Here, extensive reading is just read as much as possible, because I think the most important idea is this is academic. Okay, so we read a lot just to find or to get some important information for us, to increase or to improve our vocabulary if we talk about English, of course. And in this case, we need to improve our reading skills, because most of the time when we read, we speak maybe slowly, but we did it. So you're practicing both cases. This is the idea about extensive reading. Okay, to get much information about this, but specifically vocabulary, increase your English skills. Okay, and I think most of the time could be this is more academic. I'm sure that you agree with me. And here you see now. Great readers, bilingual books, monolingual books, magazines, comic books, maybe. Extensive reading must be done for longer blocks of time. Yes, that is true. And you need to be relaxed. Yes, of course, you need to be relaxed, because it's 15 minutes and 30 minutes and it's like 40 pages or 20 pages. That is true. But this is more academic, what I told you now. You read to get maybe a previous knowledge, to get some vocabulary, to increase or to improve your English skills most of the time. But you don't want to get any specific meaning or idea to learn. Just you read and read, because you want to increase your vocabulary. Okay? Thank you so much for your participation. I will see you in the next part, that is predicting in the video part 2. See you there.